Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for coming to our retreat. As you all know, Bernie Landoz is the go-to guy. Whether it's corporate boardroom, getting things done in Washington, Bernie is the go-to guy. For those of you that thirst for knowledge about what's going on in this world, Bernie Landoz is here to share it with all of us today. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I introduce to you the man behind the curtain, Bernie Landoz.
Well, thank you, Bill, for that kind introduction. I want to thank everybody for coming here. And I also want to thank the folks at the Jekyll Island Resort for the wonderful setting we have here and the hosting you've done. And please, people, take advantage of the amenities. I can guarantee you're going to need plenty of sleep. I was actually having a conversation this morning over breakfast, which was very interesting. It's very appropriate, which is that everything comes in threes. Phase one, you're a child playing in the sandbox. There's no rules. Phase two is when suddenly you realize that there's rules you have to follow. You enter the world of adults. And most people live their lives in phase two. And very, very few people make it to phase three. And that is where you end up back in the sandbox. There are no rules. So let's talk about the miracle. Miracles are good things to talk about. Miracle of existence, the miracle of life. Another miracle is we evolved from apes, from animals, barbaric animals who competed with each other. We killed our closest ancestors. That's why there's no fossil records of close, or very few fossil records of close ancestors. We killed all of them. We are incredibly aggressive. We're clever. We're dangerous. Is the miracle that we evolved from apes? Well, somebody had to evolve from apes. So that's not really a miracle. Somebody had to do it. Now, the miracle I'm referring to is indoor plumbing. Indoor plumbing, is that a miracle? Well, the miracle is that this wonderful aspect of life that we take quite for granted is being provided to us by the very same apes. Humans are apes. We are animals. Yet, we're organized in flying airplanes, sending postage all over the world, providing plenty of food, being provided by creatures that are still animals. We are controlling our society and keeping it together. That's a miracle. That's a true miracle. And there's a very, very thin veneer, a very, very fine line between that miracle and what happened with Hurricane Katrina when, in a flash of an eye, everything fell apart into anarchy. And our job here is to make sure that this miracle continues to exist. Think about this quote. You should all be familiar with it. Ignorance is bliss. I don't know if you're all familiar with the next line, which is, "'Tis folly to be wise." If it is folly to be wise, then all of us in this room are in trouble. That was written by Thomas Gray in 1742, who was a member of the establishment, so clearly he knew something. We cannot all live in bliss, for our world would then not exist. So if it's folly to be wise, why are we here? What does it take to be wise? A large brain? Well, we're going to have a little secret from Carl Jung. People cannot stand too much of the truth. Very brilliant man. Let's look at another psychologist. Men basically want to have sex with their mothers. Well, what happened was psychology was kind of knocked off the map with that one. And so we actually call that discredit and overload, is where we get a situation where you have something that is incredibly valuable but is discredited by some factor, and the entire baby is thrown out with the bathwater. So what is Jung trying to say to us about wisdom? What is humans' most powerful trait? Our intelligence, our massive brain. But there is something that we possess that is much more powerful than our intelligence. It eclipses it. It's denial. Our intelligence is so vast that it is painful to see clearly. It's so easy to be in denial. Why? Well, first of all, denial is good. Denial is natural. If it wasn't for denial, we would never have explored the unknown. If we knew the dangers in trekking across the country to the gold rush, if we knew the people we'd run into, the disease, if we knew the prospectors and the hype around the gold, much of it which wasn't even there, we never would have done it, but we did it. Denial helped us. Thousands of years ago, we competed against other tribes. We slaughtered other tribes. We were in denial that they were also human, that they had children who wept. We didn't want to know that, because if we knew that, we never would have survived, because they would have cut our heads off. Living, life is denial. We're in denial we're going to die. And the biggest denial of all, which is the denial that we're not prejudiced. Again, it's in our genes. We are prejudiced creatures. Our prejudice was bred into us to consider all other tribes to be evil and dangerous so we could survive. It's not the prejudice that's the problem, it's the denial that we're prejudiced. Our denial about natural prejudice is the problem. It's the shame to be human. That's the problem. It's our actions that matter. If I'm prejudiced and I'm aware of it, I can just go, ooh, hello, not good. But if I'm not aware of it, if I'm in denial about it, I am going to act in prejudice without even being aware of it, because I'm in denial of my own behavior. It's our actions and our choices that matter. So, the key thing to understand about wisdom is choice. In this room, even though prejudice and denial are natural, they serve no purpose in this group. However, outside of these walls, there is tons of denial and prejudice. Our society is built on it, and we can use that. This is the way that we control people. Very simple. It's not about power. It's not about force. It's about leverage. We take what is natural in people through understanding the mentality of the beast that lives outside this room, because it is our responsibility to make sure this miracle doesn't come crumbling down. We're the ones who cannot afford to live in bliss.